presenter who is also a professional makeup artist. And when I asked her sponsor and upline to give you a few words about her, this is what she said. She is amazing. Sarah is the definition of servant leadership. She works for her team, but at the same time knows how to shine and stand tall with confidence and light. She doesn't stop and is always thinking and brainstorming on how to help her team. But she has figured out balance like a pro. I admire her so much. She makes me a better leader and a person. Love, Brian Kerr. So with that, please help me welcome to the stage exclusive Black Science presenter, Sarah Crawford.
I seriously could not be more excited to be here with you guys. I'm just more honored to be on this stage. You know, you're going to hear me talk about it, but you guys, I am you, right? And you are me, and we are all the same, okay? So I wanted to start out with just a few fun facts about myself before we went into the makeup demo. I do live in Colorado Springs, Colorado, with my super sexy, super supportive, super hot Green Beret husband. So I am a special forces wife. If there's any, military wives out there, I totally get it. I have two very ornery but very amazing little boys. They're 15 months and 3 years old. I am a very free-spirited bohemian woman, yet happen to run a company of over 1,000 women. Stage, she's one of our amazing presenters who's somewhere here among you guys. There she is. She's going to make her way on up here. And I'm going to show this line off for you. Guys, I am absolutely, truly obsessed with our brow palettes. And I know that as a makeup artist, I've been getting asked a lot of questions about the brow palettes, about various techniques, so I thought that's what we would demo for you guys today. And I'm excited to show them to you. So let's give it up for Kayla for being our model. Okay, so I have Facebook stalked Kayla previously, and I would say that, do you use the brunette palette or the dark brunette palette?
The brunette.
That's what I was going to say. I would choose brunette for her. If you guys have kind of questions on that, I find that a lot of your natural redheads are actually wearing the slightly darker color from the blonde palette. Some of them wear the medium or the brunette palette, but typically, yeah. So for Kayla, she's kind of a medium brown. I would choose the brunette palette for her. I am wearing the dark palette today. That's more for girls that have obviously very dark natural hair or almost like even black. So today, like I said, we are going to be using kind of like, there was this one time I went on this military excursion with my husband, and he told me as I was roping down this like 100-foot wall, he's like, babe, all you have to do is trust your equipment. So what I'm going to tell you is that this brush is awesome and that you can trust your equipment, okay? So let this brush really do the work. So I'm going to start by lining, by getting the darker of the two shades, okay? And I like to start on the bottom of the lashes, or excuse me, of the brows. And I just kind of make my first line down here. And it's just kind of the base. Once we get this line made, like I said, so I start out here and then go for the top. And then what you find is Kayla's brows, I mean, they're kind of in the middle. They're not super, super dark, but they're not, completely blonde either. So I like to start about maybe 1/4 of an inch of the way in on the top line and just draw it out toward the top of her arch. Okay, are you guys kind of seeing the little lines that we're making? And actually, let me rotate just a little bit this way. There you go, cool. Thank you. Oh, no, you're Okay, so then I grab the angle side and I grab the lighter of the two shades and I grab it from my line here, and I just kind of like flick this line up into what we're kind of starting there. And this blends the two colors. I feel like when you fill in with a slightly lighter color, that it gives just a more natural appearance to the brow. And so I just kind of use the brush and just flick it up into itself to really blend that. Because typically you want it more, ombre, I guess would be the term, in the front, and then allow it to get a little bit more darker and more solid toward the back. So again, using the straight brush, I'm going to go back here to the outside. I'm going to grab underneath our arch, and I'm going to just complete this line and bring that out as we start to just kind of fill it in. And I'm going to show you how we're finding all these cool lines, because I think some people look at their face, especially if their brows are a little bit lighter, and they're like, oh my gosh, like, where do I even start? So I'm going to be face forward. Okay, there you go. So what I do is I follow the lines of basically the outside corner of your nose is about where your brow should start. Now you can totally break these rules if you want to. I'm just telling you like the general gist of it. So outside corner of the nose, and then for your arch, you're going to go ahead. Then about in line with your outside of your iris, you're going to go straight up, and that is where your arch should be. And then your outside edge should be from the corner of your nose to the outside corner of your eye and up. That's a pretty good rule of thumb. Like I said, you can totally extend those and do them differently if you want to, but that's what I typically find works pretty much every woman. And it helps just, just the symmetry of your face. So I'm going to continue with the lighter color and just kind of flick this up into it. And one of my absolute favorite things about this palette is actually the wax, because I have crazy brow hair. It's like super wiry, and I feel like okay? So that is pretty much brows. Now, what I've been getting asked a lot of questions about is what do I do with the other two things in this palette, at least from customers. And if you're getting this question from customers, it's a good thing to know. So with the pink, I kind of like to use that as a little bit of a concealer to kind of fine-tune the line right along the base. It also doubles as a matte highlighter, or you can use the shimmer. So I kind of tell people, this kind of acts like a concealer. It's a little bit thicker product, or if you just want to use the shimmer as an actual brow highlighter, it works great too. So I'm going to grab the cream shadow brush, little bit of the find that line and bring that arch up. So thank you, Kayla. Way to go, girl. I love makeup, but the real passion of mine is honestly inner beauty. And when Julie was asking me about this, I love the topic, true beauty. So let's go ahead and dive in to what I'm super passionate about and sharing with you guys. Most of the talking, it's ourselves. There is this very powerful truth that I've come to know and learn in my journey with Unique. The very things that I struggle with, the very lies that I battle with every single day will become the very things that make me successful tomorrow. I'm going to say that one more time. The very things that we struggle with and the very lies that we battle today are the very things that will bring us our success tomorrow. You guys, we work in the beauty industry, and in many ways, our company industry, I think it's a really important understanding that we understand what's working. I dare to say that the magic ingredient is this. Women want to see their body in an advertisement. Women want to see their face in an advertisement. They want to see their sister. They want to see their mom. They want to see their best friends represented, not those ever women in bathrooms all around the world with our messy hair, our dry shampoo, our kids going on in the bathroom, and we're putting our makeup on like everybody else. Women could relate to us, right? And here we are, nearly 700,000 presenters later. I mean, that is amazing. I was told I was fat. I mean, look at that. What the heck is that? I never fit in school. I was always the girl with a couple of close friends, but never really that popular. I suffered from sexual abuse as a child. I struggled with my weight and my body. Of the overcomer. You see, when women see me pop up on that little box on their Facebook newsfeed, and they hear me saying, my friends, I have been there, and there's a better way. There is a life beyond the rat race. There is a life beyond the comparison game. And there is beauty beyond the synthetic lies, and there is freedom for your life that you cannot even imagine. Right there is when lives start changing forever, you guys. That is when our mission gets deep in your soul, and you know that this is so much more than makeup. So I want you to look at your crooked nose, the lines in your face, your stutter, your body that is so perfectly yours. And know that there are women who struggle with the exact same things that you struggle with. You see, what starts to happen is that we begin to slowly trust that they will look at you and they'll say, if she can, I can. You see, we don't go live and we don't selfie to prove that we're the most beautiful, that we're the most confident, and that we have it together. We selfie and we go live to show the world, if I can, you can. So, that sounds really great, Sarah, honestly. But really, you don't understand what I struggle with. And you're right. I mean, I've never walked in your shoes. I don't know. But something that I do know is that your enemy and my enemy is exactly the same. I once believed these lies, that I would never measure up, that I could never be good enough, that I would always fall short, and that somebody would the good things would always happen to them and not me. You see, you guys, fear is a sneaky little jerk. He likes to live in the shadows, whispering in our ears all the reasons that we will never succeed. All the ways that we just don't measure up. He's no respecter of persons, you guys. He tries to get every single one of us. But, and this is a really, really big but. Do you know what fear can't stand? He cannot stand being called out. When we bust out our little flashlight of cognitive awareness and we shine it in his face and we go sprinting up to his ugly mug and we say, I see you, and get out. Get out of my life. Get out of my home. Get out of my head. Get out of my business. Do you know what? He has to go. When we call him out, we take every single ounce of his power. So how about we start signing some eviction notices today? Huh? You know, at first, we may need to do this on a daily basis, and to be honest with you, we may need to do it 100 times a day, but I will tell you that the more you with our minds, and Brennan mentioned this earlier, and I fully agree with what she was saying. Sisters, we have to become where one of our most important daily tasks of our business is flooding our minds in the positive. So what I want you to do right now is I want you to close your eyes. Every eye open. Yes, I grew up in church. Maybe that's where this came from. Okay, so I want you to just think about one thing that would change your business and just make it soar. Take you straight to the top. One thing. And now, I want you to say thank you for it as if it is already yours. I thank you for my amazing team. I thank you for my leaders. I thank you for my courage. I thank you for my life of abundance. I want you to open your eyes. My dear ones, that attitude of gratitude is the most powerful, potent fuel that you could possibly put into your business. I challenge you in your notes to write down what you just said, and I want you to repeat it to yourself every single day. Every single time fear tries to sneak back into your mind, I want you to kick him out and remind him of your truth. I am worthy. I am enough. I can and I will be successful. Because you see, when fear is gone, we become invincible. Because without fear, we can look at our imperfections and not only see their beauty, but we see their power. As we share, we grow our influence, and if there is one thing that leads to success in this business, it's influence. Of your glory, become that woman. That song was so perfect. Become the woman shining in the darkness, showing the world that there is a better way. A life outside of fear in the comparison game, a life of true beauty, shining with all of her freedom. And while we're talking about shining, I would love to welcome Angelina to the stage, and I would love to share with you ladies one of my favorite ways to use the A La Mode collection. This isn't one of my favorite products. I was begging and praying that we would release illuminators. This is one of my favorite products that we've released in a very long time, and I'm super excited to show you how to use all three products and why I choose some of them sometimes and choose other times. And Angelina is super awesome for letting us go ahead and do this. Doing her highlighting first. So when I am going to use the cream to powder stick, I usually use it when I'm dealing with maybe some more like drier skin types, or it's honestly just out of like preference. Sometimes people just like the ease of use because you just kind of throw right on there. So this is the color Iridescent, and this is what I'm going to show for like using along her nose and that sort of thing. That's where I like to do it. So I am going to just bring this and just kind of do our little line down the center of the nose. And I usually just kind of blend it in lightly with my finger. Okay? So it just adds to that whole, like where you contour your nose, you want a little bit of shimmer. If you have super oily skin, you can stop it about here. It's kind of up to you. But I will also use this product, and I kind of put a little bit on my finger, and I even bring a little bit down here to just accentuate the Cupid's bow. See kind of like the C that we're doing. I would stop so you guys can be sure to see that as well. And then I just kind of, I mean, honestly, I get super fancy and I use my fingers. Okay, so once we have the glow, I pretty much bring it down all the way onto the top of the cheekbone and all the way up. And then, like I said, I do that top of the brow bone as well. You can add it up here above the eyebrows if you want to. I mean, you can get crazy with this stuff. Glow away. And I do sing Let It Glow like every single time I mix it. Let it glow, let it glow. I don't know the rest of the words. Okay, so this is the bronzer. I'm gonna use it just for a little bit of contouring. This is Hermosa. What do you use in there? Malibu. Malibu. And honestly, there's not really like a wrong way to choose your bronzer color. I just kind of like the idea of the little, there's like a kind of pink hue under Hermosa. And that's what I wanted today. So I just kind of like carve out underneath your cheekbones. I like to take it up here on the tops of the forehead. If you guys don't know this trick, I call it the 3 method, but you basically do a 3 here and then underneath the chin. So you're kind of drawing a 3 on the sides of your face. And then I just kind of use the blusher brush, like flick the color up to blend it. It's like nothing super fancy. And then, just gonna bring it a little bit under her chin. And I mean, you're really just following the same principles, like the little chart in our contouring set. Sorry guys, I don't want to go all the way there. Awesome. Okay, so then the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how I like to use the powder illuminators. So if you have very oily skin, you can totally, I even use these with my fingers sometimes to get the pigment like really heavy. You can do that where we use the cream, that's completely up to you. Or if you have already done your setting powder, so if you're doing like the baking method, you can totally use your powder over top of that too. So if you like to bake, I always like to illuminate last so that you don't, you know, like take away some of the shimmer. So I am going to use the fan brush though, and this is the color Lustrous, which I love because of its kind of rosy goldness. It's beautiful. I'm actually going to take this kind of over top of the bronzer and kind of blend the 2 areas together. The reason I chose this color is it's kind of in between, right? So it's kind of the color in between Hermosa and the Benevolent that we used. And it just kind of creates more of a blend. And again, I just am completely obsessed with the way that this catches light. Let's go ahead and turn it aside a little bit. I don't know if the camera catches it, but you guys can see just the way it's just beautiful, the way it blends it together. Okay, go ahead and turn it. So I'm going to do a little bit up here because I don't think you can ever have enough highlighter in your life. You can even use the powder, honestly, with like the fan brush is the perfect like width to go down the center of the nose. So sometimes I'll even just take the fan brush and dust a little bit if you like to really, really glow with it. Cool. So that is it. That's really like my biggest tip. Thank you so much, Christina. Okay, so my last little bit, and then I will let us all move on here. It's just simply a challenge. So at some point today, I just want you guys to take a selfie, whether it's out at lunch or whatever, and I want you to post it to Instagram or Facebook with the hashtag I am enough. Okay? Thank you all so much for letting me talk.